Worth bike at Wild Wolf Yamaha bike. Beginning of the season went great for you, but things have slowly happened. You've got ill, you've had a few injuries, but you've recently been diagnosed with something.
Yeah, recently I was diagnosed with Epstein-Barr virus, which is in the UK sort of known as glandular fever. But yeah, it's been taking its toll on me for a few weeks now, and you know, I think on the sort of downside of it, so I just need to keep pushing through these next few Grand Prix, and hopefully I can make an impact at the end of the season.
Well, hopefully you get time to rest up, and we can see Zach Osborne come back. Thanks, Zach. We're going to move further on to first place on the grid and speak to Ken Roxon, who's just preparing his gay. Had a busy day considering it's his home GP. Ken, it's your home GP in Germany. You've been very busy, I know, but you're preparing your gay. How are you feeling for this GP?
Well, I feel actually good. I'm a little bit sick, so I just hope for a good start, you know, ride a smart race and just see how it will be in the end of the moto.
Excellent, Ken. And the first race you had a bit of a clutch problem, is that right, for the qualifying race?
Yeah, in the qualifying race, exactly. There was a little bit spongy, but yeah, we fixed it all now, and then let's go for it.
Excellent. Well, best of luck on your race, Ken. You can hear he's a bit cold. He's got a bit of a croaky voice, so hopefully Ken Roxon can do the deeds at his home GP. So let's go and look at the KTM Silver Action Racing Team.
I'm always a little bit nervous, you know, for the start, for the race, for everybody, but I have to relax a little bit, making my mind 100%.
Yeah, the feeling is good because I'm getting ready to qualify. It's a wonderful experience. The tension starts to build up, but I'll give my best, and I hope to achieve that.
Però daremo il massimo e speriamo meglio che sia possibile.
Normally 30 minutes before the hits, I make a little bit of stretching. I take a douche, a shower, and for making my body cold and 100%.
No, nessun problema, solamente però.
No problem at all. I just do some stretching before each qualifying race because that means that at the end of the race I feel less tired.
Yeah, the paddock is very big, you know, and the track is almost 100 meters, so we have to walk to the start to making the gate ready. I hope I take the whole shot. Just now I feel more comfortable on the bike, more motivation for tomorrow. You know, I feel a little bit tired. I take some recovering products, a little bit cycling, stretching, good dinner, and good sleep, and ready for tomorrow. In my back, I feel a little bit pain. I go to the physio, to my trainer, a little bit massage, and to make the massage, you know, 100% for tomorrow and for the rest of the week, and that's all.
How do you feel? Abbastanza male perché
for me it went pretty bad. I didn't start so well and I was chasing the others. Then I passed some other riders, but one hit me. I crashed, I hit my head, I had to stop as I couldn't see very well anymore, and I thought it was better to stop. So yeah, it went pretty bad.
È andata abbastanza male.
Sometimes unpredictable things happen and you must retire from the race. Sometimes you crash or break the bike. I think like this can happen any time. But we hope for tomorrow, we hope for a good start and also for a very good race.
Motocross fahren kann. Nichtsdestotrotz hat bisher Lars von
Ken Roczen on the Red Bull Tech Factory KTM. He sits on pole position after winning his qualifying race yesterday. And they're the results that he's picked up in the last 5 or 6 Grand Prix as well. So just a quick reminder there, you see the riders lining up on the grid, Jake Nichols, Nick Trees and Harry Kulas right there and around the middle of the gate. Ken Roczen will start from pole position on the Red Bull Tech Factory KTM this weekend ahead of Jeffrey Hurlings, his teammate, and Tommy Searle on the CLS Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki. Gauthier Paulin on the Monster Energy Yamaha will be 4th ahead of Arnold Tonis, Nicolas Aubin, Christophe Charlier, Zach Osborne and Jake Nichols, who had a good qualifying ride yesterday in 9th. Equally so for Nick Triest on the Diga KTM in 10th position ahead of Harry Kulas, Jordi Tixier, Tony Boutron, Petr Petrov. Max Anstey had bad starts in 15th position, but he fought through eventually from what was a position outside of the points in 23rd place to get back to that 15th position, Max Anstey. But as you can see, the riders are lined up on the grid. The situation in the championship, Ken Roczen on 351. He's 14 points clear of his teammate Jeffrey Hurlings. Tommy Searle, it was an expensive Grand Prix for him in Sweden, a DNF and a 4th. The gate drops and Roczen looks to get a good jump down the inside as he streaks into turn 1 ahead of his teammate. And the number 100 green Kawasaki of Tommy Searle, right where he wants to be. He nudges aside the number 7 of Arnold Tonis and Zach Osborne, who we heard on the grid suffering from Epstein-Barr virus. We've got a rider gone down there, Mike Crash, number 55. And look at the crowd here, absolutely rammed to the rafters, and they're making so much noise out there that Ken Roczen surely going to be in his element this weekend. Tommy Searle in 2nd position. Then we've got Tonis and Hurlings battling for that 3rd position over that new step-up jump, as you can see. Then we've got Osborne trying to go around the outside, but all on his own up front at the moment. This step-up caught 1 or 2 riders out in the 125 European Championship race. About 5 riders crashed going over the handlebars into that corner, but glad to see they've worked on that face in between the races. And well, we're back to normal here for MX2, but Hurlings off the side of the bike. His teammate Jeremy Van Hoorbeek not starting this race because he's had an overnight stay in hospital, had a couple of big crashes yesterday, hasn't got any broken ribs, but there's water on the lungs, and well, as a result, Osborne almost off the bike there in the top loop, dropping out of that right-hander. So Jeremy Van Hoorbeek back from injury and not here this weekend. KTM still waiting for confirmation as to whether he's going to be okay to ride in Latvia in 1 week's time. But back with the action, it's Roczen who leads from his teammate Jeffrey Hurlings. Tommy Searle there in 3rd. The white Yamaha Bike It Cosworth machine of Arnold Tonis, number 7, is in 4th as they come up over the Monster Energy tabletop. Then we have the red of Zach Osborne, the black number 21 of Gauthier Paulin. Then Jake Nichols there, number 45 on the HM Plant Red Bull KTM. So Nichols in around about, what, 6th, 7th or 8th position. So there's 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th is Jake Nichols as he comes through the modified circuit over that far end of this Teufelstal place. But there's Zach Osborne. He is 5th place in points in the championship at the moment. And he's just behind his teammate, Arnold Tonis. We've got yellow flags still down. So we had a couple of riders go down there. Well, obviously that was Mike Crass maybe being attended to just off the track there. But over the line for the first time, Roczen already through. He's got 2 seconds over his teammate Jeffrey Hurlings. Tommy Searle is 3rd, Arnold Tonis 4th, then Zach Osborne, Gauthier Paulin. Then we've got Jake Nichols in 7th, Tony Boutron is 8th. Then it's one of the other Monster Energy Yamahas, Christophe Charlier 9th, Nick Treest in 10th position as we go on board. Look at the power there from Ken Roczen. He's got his starts absolutely dialed in. And so too has his teammate, Jeffrey Hurlings, who's carrying the onboard camera this week. And this, oh yeah, Mike Crash getting into the back of Suyon Zanoni. and going down hard there as a result of that crash. So hopefully Mike Crash will be up on his feet in a short while, and they'll be able to resume normal activity and maybe get back to work in the second moto. But these are your leading two riders here. The two factory KTMs of number 94, Ken Roczen. He carries the red plate on that front number plate. And the fans here are already ecstatic because he's done all the easy work. He's got out, well, he's done the hard work, shall we say. He's pulled a hole shot, and he's sitting there now in a pretty comfortable position, a couple seconds clear of his teammate. There's Tommy Searle on the CLS Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki in new clothing this weekend from Thor, similar to what the riders use in Mitch Payton's Pro Circuit Kawasaki squad in the US. So a slightly different look to that CLS team this weekend. Incidentally, Max Anstey not inside the top 20 here. So Anstey down in 21st position. Gauthier Paulin dropping downhill to the right-hander now instead of going left down towards the lake. Alongside pit lane, and they rejoin back on the start straight. There is Zach Osborne in the red. He's still in 5th position. There's a great atmosphere around this Talkessel Teufelstal circuit. Jake Nichols goes through there, still there in that 7th position. And Ken Roczen sets the fastest lap of the race so far, 2:01.6 compared to the 2:02.1. So half a second then that Ken Roczen managed to claw out of Jeffrey Hurlings, who's there in 2nd position. Then Tommy Searle a couple seconds further back in the 2:03s. And then we've got Arnold Tonis now in 4th, Zach Osborne 5th, Paulin 6th, Nichols 7th, Boutron 8th. That's Christophe Charlier going through, number 430 on the Monster Energy Yamaha in 9th, ahead of Nick Triest on the Digger Racing KTM number 590, who's just been overtaken actually there by Nicolas Aubin up into that turn 9. So Aubin, who's been receiving a little bit of assistance from former 2-time world champion Michael Pichon over the last few weeks. He's there now up in 11th place and looking like he wants to go forward as well after Christophe Charlier. Mathis Caro on the MVRD Route 77 Honda just behind those guys there, number 91. He's going to be looking, oh, Aubin almost off the bike there through that right-hander. And Mathis Caro, he'll want to get a good result here, number 91, this weekend, because next week he will go to Latvia, his home Grand Prix at Kergums. As Charlier really hanging off the back of that Yamaha in pursuit of Antonio Boutron, who's in 8th position in that orange on the Silver Action KTM. Been getting some good starts, has the number 17 of Tony Boutron recently. And that's all part of the effort. You get a good start and hang it out there for the first 10 or 15 minutes of the race, then you're going to put yourself in some good points towards the end of the moto. Number 430 on the Monster Energy Yamaha, Christophe Charlier tries to ride his way through the number 17 of Antonio Boutron, and this the battle for 8th position. We've had 3 laps complete here for our leaders. These two guys just about to come over the line to complete their 3rd lap, and it's still Tony Boutron, number 17, who is holding that 8th position ahead of Christophe Charlier in the white on the Monster Energy Yamaha. Nicolas Aubin now 10th. We saw that pass on Nick Triest about a lap ago. Then we've got Pascal Rauchenecker, Valentin Tellier on the Suzuki Europe MX2 team machine. Then we've got Lurk Lariat, Jordi Tixier, Harry Kulas, Petr Petrov, and this time Charlier does go through. Firm but fair, I think you'll call that. Then we've got Dennis Bodrexel, Max Anstey now into 19th, Ludwig Soderberg down in 20th place. So Christophe Charlier, who's 11th in the championship, just 8 points behind Joel Roulants, who's not riding here this weekend. Well, here's the first go. Try and get your wheel through there if you can. Christophe Charlier, but unflustered, the number 17 of Antonio Boutron, the Spaniard. Oh, Zach Osborne, that rear end of that bike at Cosworth Wild Wolf Yamaha just kicking out as he dropped down into the valley. And he's going after Gauthier Paulin. In fact, Paulin has found a way. No, he hasn't. He's going after Paulin. Paulin has found a way through, because last time around it was Arnold Tonis in 4th, then it was Osborne, then Paulin. So Paulin on the move, going after Arnold Tonis, the Swiss rider, the teammate to Zach Osborne. So the Monster Energy Yamaha rider, Gauthier Paulin, 21 years old, 4th in the championship at the moment, who qualified in 4th yesterday. He's going after Tonis, and it was Tonis actually who caught Paulin in the latter stages of that qualifying race. A couple of mistakes from the Frenchman, Gauthier Paulin, as he challenged in the initial stages with Tommy Searle, but eventually Tommy Searle broke free to get himself into 3rd position. This is on board with Jeffrey Hurlings, and that's Ken Roczen just ahead of him. So Roczen not really getting away from Hurlings, and I think we're getting ready to go down to pit lane. And I'm guessing we might be talking to KTM, scrubbing his way over there, almost quite literally, Ken Roczen. But we're on board with Hurlings, and that's the leader in his sights.
I'm here in pit lane with Johnny Albert. Now, at the moment, you're not normally a motocrosser, but you're here this weekend. How are you finding it?
I'm happy to be here, you know, for see the motocross. My last GP was 6 years ago, and now I'm happy to be the fan, to see the fan, and also it's a good day for KTM. Now it's Roczen and Hurlings, the front of the MX2. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. It's a day.
And normally, what is it you do? Tell everybody at home.
Yeah, normally I make enduro. I make a world championship, but now I am some injury with my neck. But I think I'm come back in 1 month, and now I enjoy this day.
Excellent. Thank you very much, and enjoy the racing.
Yeah, Johnny Aubert, former Grand Prix rider in 125s back in the day, and 250s as well. But well, as you heard, he's now a factory KTM rider in the Enduro World Championship. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think world champion a couple of years ago, actually. But as you see, carrying an injury, out of action at the moment, and decided to show his face down here and catch up with what these guys are doing in the factory squad on the Red Bull Tekka KTM machines. Jeffrey Hurlings going after his teammate Ken Roczen there. This is the gap between 1st and 2nd. 5 waves just through there. No tight right, tight left combination at the end. Instead, we step up onto that jump through that sweeping left-hander. And Jeffrey Hurlings, well, if he can do what he did in Brazil and apply the pressure, who knows, maybe Ken Roczen will be forced into making 1 or 2 tiny errors that might even change the way that this race, or the shape of the race, and the outcome of this race even. But Ken Roczen, you see, just riding a little defensive in 1 or 2 areas. Jeffrey Hurlings has the freedom to utilize some more outside lines in 1 or 2 areas on this circuit. Nicely done through there, though, for Roczen, and gets over that corner. Really, really nice. Goes past the wall of noise, which goes from one end of the circuit to the other. The crowd never used to be able to get that far deep into the bottom there, and also down through the right-hand side here. So pretty much every inch of this circuit on that far side, Ken Roczen just faces that, well, the partisan crowd, it's got to be said, as he goes after, here he goes, is he tripling his way in? Yes, a little bit short there, though. That's where he was making his time yesterday. He overtook Gauthier Paulin there. There's 2 small tabletops coming out of that left-hander under the Rebutizer bridge, and you do the first one, and then you nail the second one, and there's a single right on the approach to the corner, and you saw Ken Roczen, they almost looks like they've changed the angle of it slightly, because he didn't get anywhere near as much height as he was getting yesterday. But Hurlings not following him through there, it didn't seem, in the same way. Tommy Searle, he's 10 seconds off the lead at the moment in 3rd position, riding the number 100 on that CLS Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki. Arnold Tonis all over the back of him, though, look, in white on the bike at Cosworth Yamaha. Oh, looks like he slips a gear there. Tommy Searle just lost valuable traction as he came out of that corner, and Tonis all over the back now, and looking menacing. The lap time last time for Tommy Searle, well, 2:03.6, and 0.6 quicker was Arnold Tonis. So he's looking to find a way past the young Brit now. Tommy Searle, who lost a lot of points in Sweden a couple of weeks ago, well, a week ago. We're going down to pit lane.
Here with Harry Nolte from the Pro Circuit Monster Energy CLS Kawasaki team. Harry, Tommy had a bad weekend last weekend with bike things, but is he okay, and can he win the battle with Arnold Tonus?
Yeah, I think after last weekend was very disappointed the first heat, but I think he has now a big battle with Tonus, and I hope he can stay in front of Tonus till the end of the race.
We'll hope so for you. Thank you, Harry.
Yeah, it was quite expensive for him, Tommy Searle, because had he not had that mistake or that DNF, he would have picked up, well, we don't know how many points, because he was working his way through traffic at the time after a bad start. So even if he'd have picked up 10 points, it'd still be 41 off the lead. But maybe only even 4 off of Jeffrey Hurlings for that battle for second position. But as I say, quite expensive for Tommy Searle a week ago. There's that double-double tabletop, and we saw both riders there getting pitched, more so Arnold Tonus on the takeoff for that second tabletop. Dropping down the Moormine. This is where Van Hoorbeek had the first of his crashes yesterday, jumped a little bit too far over to the left, lost the front end on landing, and then he crashed again over on the far side of the circuit, but it was that first crash that got him yesterday. That's why Jeremy Van Hoorbeek's still in the hospital, not sure about broken ribs or anything else, but certain fluid on the lungs apparently, and just 1 or 2 breathing difficulties, a little bit tight in the rib area, so they're keeping him in hospital for observation. And hopefully we'll see Van Hoorbeek back next week, but well, maybe it's even too early to say yet. 20 minutes plus 2 laps to go in this first FIM MX2 Moto of the weekend here at Teushenthal in Germany. It's the 9th round of the World Championship Series. And Ken Roczen has managed to sneak a couple seconds back on his teammate Ken Roczen on that last time around. A 2-minute .971 compared to the 2:02.365 for Jeffrey Hurlings. So that gap gone out to almost 2.5 seconds between Roczen and Hurlings. This is a battle for third position. The green Kawasaki, the number 100 of Tommy Searle, coming under pressure from the number 7 of Arnold Tonus on that white Yamaha. Then we've got Gauthier Paulin about 6 seconds further back on his black Monster Energy Yamaha. And he still has Zach Osborne for close company in 6th position. Jake Nichols, he's not out of it yet in 7th position, only 3 or 4 seconds off of Osborne. And with Osborne starting to fade in the second half of these races at the moment, Jake Nichols might be in the right place at the right time to pick up what could be a great 6th position for him. Charlier is 8th, Nicolas Aubin 9th, and Tony Boutron is down in 10th. Valentin Tellier now up to 11th, ahead of Nick Treese, Lariat. And I think we're going down to pit lane.
I'm here with Steve Dixon. Steve, at the moment Tonus is battling, but also Zach's having a great race considering his condition.
Yeah, I mean, we're lucky to have 2 strong riders running in the top 5, and yeah, we saw yesterday that Arnold was riding really well, and you know, I picked him for the podium this week, so I think he can push well, and if Zach can just stay for as long as he can with his, you know, he now has glandular fever or Epstein-Barr, hopefully he can just push for as long as possible and show that we can get good coverage and hopefully he recovers well. So we hope for a good result.
Thank you, Steve.
Yeah, it's a big schedule that Arnold Tonus almost off the bike. A big schedule that Steve Dixon's bike at Cosworth Yamaha team have got at the moment, because since we got back from Brazil, they had 1 week off, and then it's either been 3 Grand Prix in a row, which we had with France, Portugal, Spain. They went home for a British Championship in Northern Ireland, actually. They were in the run of 3 races here now, which is Sweden, Germany, Latvia. Then they go back up to, I think, Fox Hills for another British Championship round. Then we have Lovell and the Czech Republic. Another mistake there from Tonus. And then there's a race up in Scotland, and then before the British Grand Prix. So it's pretty hectic now for the Bike at Cosworth Yamaha squad. So if Zach Osborne is feeling the heat a little bit here and running a little bit down in terms of, well, that Epstein-Barr virus, then it's going to be a tough running for Zach Osborne in the second half of this MX2 Grand Prix season. But his teammate Arnold Tonus, who's 6th in the championship at the moment, he's in 4th position. He's had more than his fair share of 4 or 5 4th place finishes this year so far. Has never been on the 3rd step of the podium, and he could if he keeps up this pressure on Tommy Searle, find himself taking his first podium position in 2011. There's Valentin Tellier, number 37 on that yellow Suzuki. He is in 11th position, or is he 10th now? He's behind Tony Boutron, who was registered here as being in 9th place. And we've got Charlier down in, well, yeah, Charlier's 9th. Boutron's 10th, Valentin Tellier actually 11th position, because we've got Roxon, Hurling, Searle, Tonus, Paulhan and Osborne, they top 6, and Jake Nichols 7th, Nicolas Aubin 8th. Then we have Christophe Charlier, we just saw him go out a shot on the black Monster Energy Yamaha in 9th. Then we've got the 17 of Tony Boutron 10th. Valentin Tellier, the former European champion 2008 in the MX2 category. He's there in 11th position. We've got Nick Triest hanging off the back of them as well on the Digger KTM. Number 590 from Belgium, just coming into the corner about now. And I think we've lost Matis Caro. I think that's Matis Caro's bike in that far corner. So Caro, yep, out of it here now. So that's a shame for him. We said at the start of the race when he was up there running well that he would be looking for a good GP this weekend. Recently back from injury, but he's got his home Grand Prix in Latvia in a week's time. So he's going to have to rely on the second moto now in order to get as much confidence as possible. Up front though, Roxon is on fire. He's 7.5 seconds clear of his teammate Jeffrey Hurlings. But we're looking at Antonio Boutron. And Christophe Charlier just going out of shot. So Charlier not leaving these guys here. Valentin Tellier, number 37, the young French kid. He's actually riding for Suzuki Europe, MX2 team. They're actually based in Germany, run by Thomas Ramsbacher and Jens Johansson. And well, he had a tough start to the season, did Valentin Tellier. Didn't start coming back until Sweden, so this is only his second GP of the season so far. He crashed out in qualifying in Bulgaria, had a shoulder problem. And well, he picked up some good points a week ago in Sweden. 20 points on the board for him, 23rd in the championship. And is that Michael Lieb or Alex Lupino? Okay, Michael Lieb. So Michael Lieb is talking to Ilario Ricci, the team manager there, team owner of that factory Husqvarna squad, and another DNF for the American, unfortunately. But with 14 minutes plus 2 laps to go, Ken Roczen has an 8.3 second advantage over Hurlings. We were just on board with Jeffrey Hurlings a moment ago as he was trying to deal with some of the slower traffic now in the second half of this race. But no such problems for his teammate there, number 94 on the left, as he goes past the 777 of Suyon Zanoni, the Brazilian rider. There's the 114 of Jordan Booker on the HM Plant Red Bull KTM. He's about to be next to be lapped by Ken Roczen, riding with some slight rib damage himself, actually, after a bit of an incident in the week. But this circuit, what you can't see, how deep some of these ruts are. There were maybe 10 or 15 ruts through that particular corner yesterday. Is he still doubling in? Yeah. Got his timing absolutely perfect. Nailing it on the landing, braking as well, making the turn. It was a little bit greasy in there yesterday. Here's Hurlings. Is he tripling in? No. Goes for the single. That's, you can see exactly where Roczen is making his time. A little bit here and a little bit there each lap. We had big rain on Thursday night, Friday morning. The same again Friday night, Saturday morning. And, well, by the time the guys rode the track yesterday for practice, all through these corners here, because there was a lot of fresh dirt had been shifted around to make way for new jumps, new landings, new corners, new access points. And it was a little bit sticky. Created more than its fair share of lines, but with 30 degrees temperatures yesterday that we had, and a slight breeze, The circuit eventually did dry out in the qualifying races, but was probably actually very similar in condition to what it is now, although the ruts were longer and deeper and more of them. And everybody saying yesterday how tough the track was in terms of it being rutty. We're on board with Jake's gone missing. So it was Jake that went missing earlier. Yeah, Jake was running in seventh position earlier, so he's gone down. Well, according to our timing screen, he's still in seventh position. He's just come over the line now. So Jake Nichols, I don't know where they got that graphic from, but Jake Nichols is in seventh place, and we're getting ready to go down to pit lane to go and talk to the HM Plant Red Bull KTM squad. Probably be talking to his mechanic actually. Let's go down there right now, hear what they have to say.
I'm here with Wayne Banks with the HM Plant Red Bull KTM UK team. For someone that's been away for most of the season, Jake Nichols is currently running seventh, which is great for him. How did he feel before this race?
It felt very good, just trying to keep cool with this hot weather, and then, yeah, hope for a good result, obviously.
Thank you, Wayne.
No problem.
But Jake Nichols having a great ride then in seventh position. He's 6 seconds clear of Nicola Oban. Oban is lapping a little bit quicker than him, or he certainly was last time around, 2:05 to 2:07. So Jake Nichols pretty much out there on his own at the moment. Got yellow flags at the bottom of the hill here. That's the 611 Mihal Kochu on the Honda Latvia Elchny machine. But we're looking at Jake Nichols. Just trying to see Nicola Oban there at the back, look. Just starting to close in, so here we'll see Jake Nichols ahead of him. And Oban on the HDI KTM. In 8th place at the moment. Looking like he's having a better run in this second half of the season. He has scored in every race since Glenn Helen. Had 1 DNF so far this season. That was the second moto at Valkenswaard, round 2 of the championship. But he started the season with 3 9th places, did the 1-3-1 of Nicola Oban. Best overall finish would have been his Grand Prix at Saint-Jean-d'Angely, the French GP, with a 6th and a 5th. That got him 6th overall, but he also finished 6th overall at La Bagneza in Spain a few weeks ago. On the 19th of June, actually. But in terms of race positions, Nicola Oban had to settle for 5th and 8th positions there. So 9th and 6th 1 week ago in Sweden. That got him 8th overall. As we try to pick up Jake Nichols, there he is. So Jake Nichols, who is down in 16th in the championship, just 2 points behind Nick Triest. Triest is behind him in the race, down in 12th place, so he will overhaul Nick Triest. He will, if he has a good day, he might even overhaul Glenn Coldenhoff, who's not riding this weekend either. But with 8 minutes and 20 to go, plus 2 laps, let's just give you a quick rundown as to where everybody is. We've got Roxon leads, he's 11.5 seconds clear of Jeffrey Hurlings. Tommy Searle is 3rd, Arnold Tonas 4th. And he's 11 seconds down now on Tommy Searle. Gauthier Paulin is 5th, Osborne is 6th. Jake Nichols just 6 seconds further back in 7th. And then we have Nick Oban in 8th, and he's closing in on Jake Nichols all the time. That gap down to 5 seconds last time around. And he's got about 3 or 4 corners to go before we see exactly what that gap is as he comes over the line. He's just running alongside the number 33 there of Julian Lieber on the Lieber Racing KTM. And Lieber down and out of the points at the moment. But Nicola Oban, be interesting to see what the gap is now between him and Jake Nichols. Right, what happened here with Hurlings? Is that Roxon gone down? No, back marker. And almost took out Jeffrey Hurlings as well. So a bit of a moment there for Jeffrey Hurlings. So Roxon over the line, 12.5 seconds clear of Jeffrey Hurlings. Tommy Searle 3rd. There is our leader, Ken Roxon. But what's the gap? Nichols to Oban is 4 seconds. But Ken Roczen, he came here in 2009 on a Teca Europe Suzuki in only his 5th ever Grand Prix in MX2. He settled for 2 seconds behind Marvin Musquin as the back end of Gauthier Paulin gets a little bit wayward as he's found himself at the rear end of Arnold Tonis' Yamaha, and Tonis in all kinds of problems through that series of corners. I'm not sure what the problem is there with Arnold Tonis, but really he's up on the pegs already. But Gauthier Paulin now into 4th position. What's the gap between him and Tommy Searle? About 12 seconds, something like that. So he's probably not going to close in on the young Brit rider Tommy Searle. But number 21, Gauthier Paulin, almost over the handlebars as well as he tried to avoid a back marker. Suyon Zanoni saw he got pitched up over the front and then landed too long, almost in the rear wheel of the Honda rider, and a big mistake and a big let-off there for Gauthier Paulin as he came into that left-hander just a moment ago. Just looking to see if there's anything amiss with that Yamaha of Arnold Tonis, sorry, number 7. Seems to be okay, but just struggled getting through a couple corners when Paulin found a way through. So these two come over the line then. Gauthier Paulin and number 7 Arnold Tonis to complete their 14th lap. They are in 4th and 5th position now. Zach Osborne still hanging on gallantly there in 6th position. Waiting for Jake Nichols to come over the line. He does so with a 2:08.4, but Nicolas Aubin still lapping a couple seconds quicker. 2:06.1, that gap down to a second now between Jake Nichols and Nicolas Aubin for 8th place. So with 5 minutes plus 2 still to run in this first MX2 race, it looks like Jake Nichols might get overhauled here by Nicolas Aubin, maybe even on this lap. Arnold Tonis, though, wants to put right the little mistakes that he made a lap ago, and he seems to be closing back up on the number 21 of Gauthier Paulin. So Paulin goes tight. This was a second mistake for Tonis, just got in too deep in the ruts, had to get his legs off. And then watch this here. Goes too long on the landing and almost, well, certainly landed some braking bumps there, did Gauthier Paulin, almost in the back of Suyon Zanoni. So big save there, big moment for Gauthier Paulin. That would have changed the shape of his race, that's for sure. Jordan Booker gives way to the number 21 of Gauthier Paulin, who gets through the 2 tabletop sections a little bit more comfortably this time. But just under 4 minutes to go, and Paulin comfortable in 4th at the moment. We're getting ready to go down to pit lane to speak to Yamaha.
We're here with Massimiliano Raspanti for Monster Energy Yamaha. Massimiliano, do you think that Gauthier Paulin can just keep this 4th position until the end?
Now it's 4. The starting not really good, and after the first corner I think it's 7. So he loses the speed a little bit. And some lap ago I think he have also a little bit protection to the knee, because I see every jump he moving the leg. So sure he has some problem. So now it's 4. The result is okay, but I think in the second moto you have mostly to finish top 3.
Thank you, Massimiliano.
Yeah, Gauthier Paulin, last 5 Grand Prix, has been on the podium. And Zanoni goes down this time. And that was Zanoni who was almost caught there by, coming down the hill there. I bet that hits a braking bump. Oh, big crash. Big impact as well, then gets chewed up by the rear wheel. And the silencer burning on the arm as well. And yeah, he's giving a thumbs up. But big crash there for the Brazilian, who's had a tough season in MX2 so far this year. But Jeff Hurlings in 2nd position, pretty much as he has been most of this season, apart from, of course, when he those 3 Grand Prix. Who else has gone down here? Or is that just the bike? That's Zannoni's bike just being carted off. We just saw that crash just a moment ago. But Hurlings, how many times has he been second? What, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times to Ken Roczen or to various people, but certainly it doesn't matter, does it? 7 times in second position. Consistency is the key, though. We saw that when Roczen went out in France in that second moto, and in Portugal in the second moto, and Brazil, he was just picking up points all over the place, which eventually got him the red plate, the championship lead. And after Portugal, and Jeffrey Hurlings, who finds himself 15 seconds down on his teammate Ken Roczen, seems to have no answer for who appears to be the fastest rider in MX2 at the moment, probably even in the world, actually, maybe Ken Roczen. Of course, we have the Monster Energy Motocross of Nations on the 17th, 18th of September at Saint-Jean-d'Angely, where we will see the likes of Ken Roczen, Jeffrey Hurlings lined up against the fastest rider in America, which might be Brock Tickle at the moment. Or Blake Baggett, sorry. And, well, Baggett's certainly one of the fastest guys in the AMA at the moment, over 2 motos in terms of American riders. Dean Wilson, I'm sure, will be over riding for Great Britain, although he's going to be competing for a place with Tommy Searle. Brad Anderson, well, we'll talk about Motocross Nations another time, but he'll certainly be interested in terms of the MX2 riders, that's for sure. But there's Zach Osborne down in 6th position at the moment, grinning and bearing it, riding his way through Epstein-Barr virus. Just seems to attack the energy levels in your body. He's closing up on his teammate there, though. 3 seconds that came over the line. So Tonus, as he goes through that Tekka tabletop, you just pan out a little bit wider, you'll see Zach Osborne just coming into view. And Zach Osborne maybe just pushing just for the last couple of 3 laps here to try and claw back another position from his teammate. These two will be battling for 5th position. Over the next 2.5 laps, a slight bobble there from the number 338 of Zach Osborne. And he's right on the back now of his teammate Tonus. So the 2 bike kit Cosworth Wild Wolf Yamahas now. They're in 5th and 6th position. The number 7 and the 338 of Tonus and Osborne. And with the circuit as bumpy and as gnarly as it is, Zach Osborne really riding, having to go deep into those energy reserves just to pull everything out here, just to salvage as many points as he can. Oh, and off the bike almost for Arnold Tonus as he came out of the penultimate corner. Well, they start with their 2 laps to go, and they are absolutely nothing in it. And Osborne goes to the inside. Osborne tries to find a way around the outside of Tonus, who tries to ride defensively. It looked like Osborne found a way through there coming out of the corner after that jump, but suddenly Arnold Tonus, number 7, seems to have had a bit of a wake-up call. Realises that his teammate, who's riding a little bit below par, is snapping at his rear wheel. And what do they say? Rule number 1, always beat your teammate. Well, certainly that's what Tonus is trying to do. Almost lost the front end coming into that bank turn there. He certainly stepped up the pace. Doesn't want to lose that 5th position to Zach Osborne, his teammate. There's Gauthier Paulin just ahead of him as well. Going out of there, look, on the black Monster Energy Yamaha. He's still in 4th position, but not really making too much. Well, I'm saying not making too much ground on Tommy Searle. Tommy Searle is away with 3rd position at the moment in this race, and Gauthier Paulin not really having to close down, saving his energy. It's hot here this weekend, especially when you're riding in that valley situation. Not a lot of air blowing through there this weekend at all. And Gauthier Paulin just doing enough, it seems, just to stay ahead of Tonus and Osborne. Nicolas Aubin about 5 seconds back there in 7th position. Then we've got Jake Nichols, and then Charlier, and then Valentin Tellier down in 10th. Tony Boutron is 11th, ahead of Nick Treist, Harry Kulas, Lurk Lariot in 14th. Petr Petrov is in 15th. Max Anstey only up to 16th place at the moment, ahead of Jordi Tixier, Lupino, Rauschnecker, and Dennis Budrexel of the Netherlands. But Ken Roczen on his final lap as he drops back into the valley. through this next series of rights and lefts and up onto the plateau. You listen to the wall of noise that will face him as he heads along there on the right-hand side. That's where it starts. Comes out of this right, the next left, and along the plateau. Will he give him the wave? A great atmosphere here. Here we go again. Right down the bottom of the hill. And Ken Roczen in what seems to be one of his last home Grand Prix before he heads off to the States. He's getting off to the perfect start here because, of course, later on in the season, beginning of September, he will go to Geildorf down near Stuttgart. And the German fans will get to see him one last time down there. But he's got work to do here still. He's got 4 or 5 more corners to go before he reaches the finish line. And he's got another moto a little later on around, 3 o'clock Central European time. But down past pit lane, salutes his mechanic Gerald Weaver and everybody else in the Red Bull Teca Factory KTM area of pit lane. And just 2 corners away, Ken Roczen. He made the whole shot. He's not looked back. He salutes the crowd. He's going to pull a big whip. And Ken Roczen wins race 1 in Germany. And listen to that reaction. Wow. Hurling's over the line in 2nd position. And that's KTM's 1st and 2nd. And then we're just awaiting Tommy Searle to come over the line in 3rd place on the CLS Pro Circuit Monster Energy Kawasaki. Is this him right now? No, back marker. Far end of the circuit though, look at that. I think Tonus has been passed by his teammate Osborne, and he's now coming under pressure from Nicolas Aubin. So this is a fight to the end here for Nicolas Aubin. We've had Tommy Searle over the line 3rd, Gauthier Paulin, he's just over the line in 4th. Then it's Osborne, Tonus and Aubin. As quick as that. So a good fight through then in the end from Nicolas Aubin, who settles for 7th position, 6/10 down on Arnold Tonus. But Ken Roczen wins here in moto number 1 from Hurling, Searle, Paulin, Osborne, Tonus. Good ride for Aubin, and Nichols was 8th. We still wait for Christophe Charlier to come over the line. Big lead there for somebody. But just waiting for Charlier to come over the line, and before that though, Ken Roczen, he's definitely got those whips dialed, hasn't he? Good ride, good performance. But Hurling's Tommy Searle, Gauthier Paulin still left wondering what they need to do with, well, what to do about a situation like Ken Roczen, I think is the fair term to use. But what a ride from Nicolas Aubin. Jake Nichols equally so, down there in 8th position, just losing a couple positions in the last few laps. But we'll give you a complete rundown in just a moment, of course, when we get our official results. Meanwhile, just sit back and enjoy some of the local scenery here in Germany, if you will. Just looking down the leaderboard here, actually.
Du hast in den ersten 10 Runden ein tolles Feuerwerk abgespult. Du hast rundenlang sogar einen Tick schneller abgehakt als der Kelly. Du hast alles gegeben, das war ein tolles Rennen. Bist du zufrieden mit deiner Leistung?
Yeah, I'm really satisfied about my riding, you know. Stay with Ken for half the moto and then...
The official confirmation then for the first MX2 race here at Teufelstal. Number 94, championship leader Ken Roczen romps to an 11-second victory over his teammate Jeffrey Hurlings. Tommy Searle was third, ahead of Gauthier Paulin, Zach Osborne, Arnold Tonus, Christophe Charlier and Valentin Tellier for Suzuki. Antonio Boutron was ninth, ahead of Nick Triest in 10th. Then we had Koulas, Lario, Petrov, Tixier. Slightly different to the scores that we have there. Anyway, Rauschenecker, Bedrexel, Oban. No, that graphic not quite right, I think. Ken Roczen was your winner from Hurlings, Searle, Paulin 4th, Osborne 5th, Tonus 6th, Nicolas Oban 7th. Jake Nichols was 8th, Christophe Charlier 9th, Valentin Tellier was 10th, ahead of Tony Boutron, Nick Triest, Harry Koulas, Lurk Lario, Petr Petrov was 15th, Tixier was 16th, Lupino was 17th, Anstey was 18th, Rauschenecker was 19th, and Bedrexel was down in 20th position. Overall, and then in the championship, well, certainly Ken Roczen will extend his lead over his teammate Jeffrey Hurlings to 17 now. So, third, Paulin still 4th, Osborne still 5th, and Tonus as well. Now, I'll have to check those points, of course, because the graphic that came up a moment ago with Oban way down the order in around 16th position as a first race finisher. Not sure if the race direction have seen something that we haven't and maybe awarded him a bit of a penalty or not. Of course, we'll have to wait and see. But there were one or two other positions in there that were slightly awry, and that might also affect the overall points system as it goes out right now. But we'll give you a recap on that just before the second race a little later on today, around about 3 o'clock. We're going down to speak to our winner.
Ken Roczen, home GP, and you've won the first race. I know you're a little bit sick. What's your plans for between the races, and how did that just go?
Well, this race was really great. Got the whole shot. My clutch was working really good this time, and yeah, Jeffrey could stay with me for the first 15 minutes, but then I think he saved some energy for the second moto. But me too, you know. I still, even if I'm sick, I still feel pretty good, and yeah, resting now, and then let's go for it in the second moto.
Best of luck in the second moto, and well done for the race win.
So Ken Roczen then, well, he's slightly feeling under the weather all weekend, has been all week as well, but these high temperatures here not really affecting the outcome of this first race as he got enough energy in time for the second race. That's when he almost quite literally scrubbed his way through there. But this double combination here, when he got over that single going into the corner, that's where he was making up his time over his teammate Jeffrey Hurlings, who finished second on the second of the Red Bull Tekka KTMs. He's getting ready to speak to Georgia Lindsay. He's down in the waiting area by the podium, and we can go and grab a quick word with the 16-year-old Dutch kid right now.
Jeffrey Hurlings, second place on the first race. Are you saving energy for the second race, and how was your speed with Ken?
I really pushed hard at the beginning, you know, I had a good jump out of the gate. Came out second, Tommy passed me, but I passed him straight back and fight with Ken for half moto, and then he was the better one of me. So I let him go pretty much and played on safe, and still coming in second moto. Hope to get a good start and try to fight with him again and try to fight for the overall.
Okay, thank you, Jeffrey.
Well, if I was Jeffrey, I'd take every opportunity while you can. Okay, he ran him good for the first half of the race and then decided, as he just admitted to there, letting him go and thinking about concentrating on the second race. Well, he might not get the same opportunity in moto number 2. So anyway, Tommy Searle was third on the Monster Energy CLS Pro Circuit Kawasaki. It was a fair ways up the pace of these two guys, though. Let's hear what he has to say. He's getting ready to speak to Georgia.
Tommy Searle, third place in that race. The weather's really hot. Were you struggling at all? I mean, it's good for points with the third place.
I was struggled a little bit after like 3 laps. I mean, I went with them and then kind of lost my rhythm, but I need to change up my lines a little bit. And then, but at the end, I was just kind of cruising out there, but having a little bit of fun, and saved a lot of energy for the next race. So hopefully I can go out and run with those guys and yeah, get back on the box.
Good job on third place, Tommy.
So Tommy Searle just saving a little bit of energy then. Got to third, realised the guys were too far ahead. 1 or 2 problems with line choice then. So he'll be out watching the MX, nicely scrubbed his way over there though, look at that. He'll be watching the MX1 guys in about 15-20 minutes time as they go and do battle in their first race of the afternoon, but